Hey everyone, hopefully the audio is working this time. I've noticed on my last few videos that there's a second or two of silence and then I seem to be talking mid-word. It's something to do with the countdown timer that I'm using on the camera here. I did intend on putting up a number of videos. I actually recorded some gameplay footage, but it did not turn out well. For some reason I became acutely aware that I was being recorded and I just fumbled really badly in fighting games. I did record some video responses, did not like those. Stumbled a lot, repeated my words. A few times I should have just got some water and just, try to gather my thoughts, but instead I stumbled through it and I got real dry mouth. Hopefully that won't happen today. Got something to drink. And then it hit my bandwidth cap, so I couldn't do anything anyway. But now I'm, a month or so later, right at a month, I'm back. And let's get started. First up, I do not have the system to play this. This is for the X68000, the Sharp. This is Geograph Seal. This is from Exact, the developers of Jumping Flash. Now I got this because that's one of those systems where in the future I would love to get one. But I was collecting for Exact. Some people come collect for Atlas working designs or renovation. Exact's the developer of Jumping Flash 1 and 2 and Ghost in the Shell for PlayStation. Then I'm not sure if they shut down and the founders started a new company or they just changed their name. But then it turned into something like Sugars and Rockets, I think. Something like that. And yeah, they put out Jumping Flash 3, which is okay. Pocket Moo or Moo Pocket, which is a Pocket Station game, which is a collection of mini games themed around Jumping Flash. Then they were absorbed into Sony Studio Japan, which has put out a bunch of good stuff. That's like Team Ico and a bunch of other developers. But this is their first title, and I'd heard about it, but I had never seen it for sale. And one day it popped up on eBay. I've been looking for this for months and months and months. Really nothing to it. I just went through everything the package contained. That was it. But if there's not too bad of a glare, this is what it looks like. It has the jumping of Jumping Flash and kind of like rudimentary 3D graphics, as if Jumping Flash didn't look rudimentary enough these days. There's gameplay footage of this you can find. But I've been looking for months for this because I really just wanted it to have it for the company. I'm a big fan of Jumping Flash, some of my favorite games of all time. And I thought it'd be a great set to have because it was, only a couple titles. I already have Ghost in the Shell. And it finally popped up, but it went for over $100, and I just couldn't do it. I think I bid like $80. Then the guy put up another copy, the same seller, a few days later, and I got this for $45. I'm not sure if this is the first copy and the other person didn't buy it or what, but really excited to have it. I think it is, yeah, Geograph Seal from Exact. So pretty jazzed about that. And this is really to kind of remind myself, I've been picking up a bunch of manuals and other odds and ends to complete my games. For this one, it was the manual. Let me see if I can grab it. Yeah, put it in a little bag. This was $4 shipped, came in really good shape. It did have a price sticker on it that I removed, so I have it in the bag so the residue won't stick to the cart or the case or anything and tear. But yeah, so now I have a complete copy of Beyond Oasis. I also have now complete copies of Phantasy Star 4. I want to say I bought 3 or 4 manuals. I don't remember off the top right now, but Phantasy Star 4 was definitely one. And I am looking for one for the Master System version of, or not version, it's the only one, of Phantasy Star 1. Have not been able to find manual only of that. I'll have another kind of box manual thing later. From a guy on a forum, I picked up Dino Land. This was about $35 shipped, which the condition is really nice. If it was in a little worse shape, I would have overpaid. But from all the copies I saw for sale on eBay, and I checked sold listings to make sure the value is about right, they were in way worse shape than this. Now, initially, I wasn't going to pick it up because I had read it slow, but I just kept thinking to myself, dinosaurs and pinball. I have a hard time thinking how that this could go wrong. It just seems so right. But it's a renovation title. So I picked that up from him, and more of his stuff is coming up. He just popped up with a bunch of stuff for sale, and real nice guy. We got along and said, okay, I will go ahead. Oh, one of the other manuals, I don't have it here because I don't have the box yet. I got a manual for Storm Grinder for $5. I do intend on getting that complete one day. Next up is a complete copy of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past with four swords, the new adventures. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past was one of my first Game Boy games, and I absolutely loved it. I don't know where it is now. I think it just got lost in the shuffle during various moves and evacuations. So I picked this up. It came with cart and manual in the box for $30, but I gutted a copy of Chessmaster, so it's got the cardboard, cardboard insert along with all the other safety inserts. So it is now fully complete. Box is a little beat up, but again, out of all the sold listings, you can see a little nick right there. This was probably the best box I had seen for sale, and when I went to sold listings, the best out of the last probably few months of sales. So really excited about that. I still have my GameCube hooked up with the Game Boy player, so that will be on the TV instead of the Game Boy itself. Now this one is really interesting. I had no idea this existed. Super Castles. Now Castles to me means a lot as a game. I had it for PC, and me and my dad used to go to, we'd make our rounds on Sunday. We'd just hang out, and he'd get sales papers. We'd go look at sales. We'd always end up at Office Depot because they had this big bin of computer games. And back then, they would discount them pretty fast. About 5 to 6 months in, you could get something that was $40 or $50 for about $10. And one of the ones I picked up was Castles 2. I got the CD-ROM edition. Oh no, I'm sorry. This was the 3¼ inch diskette version I got. And it had full motion video. I don't think this one has it. Or it's really small. I doubt you'll be able to see it. That little picture right there. The PC version, that was public domain footage of different movies set in the medieval period. And that would play, say, when peasants rebelled or an ambassador arrived. Little movie clips would play. You could also design your own castles, which this looks like you can as well. I haven't got too far into this one because it just came in. So I had no idea they made a Super Famicom version. I want to say this is based on Castles 2, though, because that's the cover of Castles 2. And they just called it Super Castles. Of course, I can't read some of the text, although some of it is in English. I'm seeing like the resources and the unit types are all in English, but like when an ambassador comes and whatnot, that's in Japanese, but I can easily feel my way around it. I actually beat the game on my old 286 computer. I couldn't believe it. Like 1 in the morning, I beat it, and it had internal speakers you couldn't turn down, and just trumpets start blaring and blasting. My parents were wondering what in the hell's going on, because out of the kitchen, it just got really loud, and they couldn't take that moment from me. I said, guys, I'm sorry, but I just got crowned the king of the land. Not right now. You can punish me in a minute. I'm basking in this. My subjects are throwing flower petals on me. There's parades. Give me my time to shine. But yeah, they were not pleased, but in the end didn't really care because I was just, I guess, that kind of kid. Sorry, Mom and Dad. But Super Castles, definitely be doing gameplay footage of this, even if I am terrible. Been having a rough spot on the repro front. Let me get a sip of water real quick. Now, 2 games did come in. I ordered over a month ago. The condition's not what I expected. I won't say the store's name yet because I'm still talking to the owner. And to his credit, he told me how to get a refund and said, don't pay me till you're satisfied. I told him I wasn't really pleased with the condition. He said, yeah, those manuals aren't right. We have professional quality ones because the ones I got were stapled weird. They were used. It just didn't look good. He said, give it a month and check back with us. I'm going to carbon copy some people here and we'll get you some new manuals. And I was like, what about the art inserts? Those were cut real weird. They didn't fit cases. And he said, that just sounds like someone was lazy. I'm going to look into that too. So I won't say anything about them yet. So the only one I will show is Dragon Quest 1 and 2. This came from OCD Productions. Maybe it's OCD Reproductions. This is an Uncle Tusk box, and I'm not super happy with the box. The image is hard to show because of the glare. But basically, actually, let me try and see if I can lower the brightness on the monitor. Let me see. How's that? Is that working? I can't tell. My monitor is now almost pitch black. But anyway, compared to this one, it just looks really grainy. Just an image they blew up. I was expecting a bit more because Uncle Tusk, I hear that name all the time for boxes. People are always pleased, but this one from Retro Game Store, Retro Game Quest, is much nicer. It doesn't come with a manual, so it was kind of pricey. And then it kind of dawned on me while I was buying this one that why don't I just do what I did with Sio Blade and have someone transfer the translated ROM onto the cart. So I went ahead and picked up a bunch of Famicom games, Super Famicom games. I'm not in yet. Like I could have got this and had it transferred, except I emailed Lost Classics and I never heard back. So if I can't find another company to do that for me because I don't have the know-how or equipment, I'm just going to have a stack of Super Famicom RPGs I can't play. So hopefully I hear from them soon. But this is Dragon Quest 1 and 2, and I wanted to go through these because I got stuck on Dragon Quest 4 for the DS. I got busy at work and I couldn't get back to it in time. And when I did, there was no way for me to find out what I was doing. There's no journal or townsfolk to tell me where to go. I'm just on a boat, and I've got, I think, all the characters, and there's this set of little tile of water that's bubbling. And someone mentioned bubbling water, but nothing happens when I go over it. So I went to read a walkthrough or something. Legs going to sleep. And I did pick up one of the games I'm getting in is Dragon Quest 3, so I want to get that one translated and play through it before I finish 4. I did pick up 2 original Super Nintendo games. Illusion of Gaia, this was 60 or 65 shipped. It comes complete. This is one of the heaviest boxes I've held for a Super Nintendo game. The box is actually in really, really good condition. The only thing is the manual had some dents in it, and then putting it back in, I can see why. Trying to put all the inserts and maps back into this box without something getting caught was very difficult. But I have Terranigma Repro, and so I want to get Soul Blazer first before I go through the series. And I saw this for 65. The condition was exactly what I was looking for, so I picked that one up. And I'm not going to lie, this next one was pricey. Secret of Mana. I have the Secret of Mana 2 Repro. I am going to skip the very first one in the series, which was for Game Boy. But I just got this one in this week. Same thing with Illusion of Gaia. The manual is kind of beat up some. But that was mainly from someone looking at it. The box itself is in really good condition, except for a little tear here. Now, this was not the most expensive, or far from the most expensive copy. But yeah, this is a pricey game if you want it. And I wanted it complete. And it's in pretty good condition, so not upset at that. I'll be playing this shortly. I'm finding as I get older, I actually like playing role-playing games more. I know most people don't because of the time commitment, but I find them more relaxing, especially 16-bit role-playing games, than other genres. Like I just beat Etrian Mystery Dungeon. Corn Muffin X, Joe, his impression video, I hope I remember to link it because he's spot on. It's pretty much everything I thought, except I kind of had more of a problem with the AI than he did, especially in the later dungeons because you just don't have good control over them. You have minimal options, unlike the Tales series where you can really specify how much mana they use and how they should act. I really wish the game had that. But I love everything else about the game. So much content. Basically, a whole new game unlocks when you beat it. I mean, it's tough to wholly recommend because it's missing like the map charting. The rooms are fully uncovered when you enter them, so it's not like you uncover like in the original Etrian Odyssey. You have to go tile by tile and uncover everything. Everything just gets uncovered, including enemy placement, item placement. So it's hard to fully recommend if you're a diehard first-person dungeon crawler fan, but it's kind of like it's turn-based, but it's fast, so kind of a action role-playing game. It feels more along those lines, but still really fun. I'm also playing Ori, I think, in the Blind Forest. So far, that's really good. And I'm playing Pillars of Eternity. My God, that is such a good game. I kickstarted it back in 2013 for $25 to get the digital copy. I'm going to buy a physical copy when it comes out. Kickstarter backers have it, or it's getting to them, and Paradox is supposed to release a physical copy. That game is exactly what I wanted. Divinity Original Sin was too puzzly for me. The world was so small. They really restricted where you could go, and I know why, because of budget reasons. They couldn't have a massive world, so what they did is tried to make the most out of a small world. But how they did that is if you couldn't go in an area, they would just demolish you. And most role-playing games do that, but because the world was so small, it just felt so confining, and I couldn't get into it. I was really getting irritated how, even if I came up with a great combat plan, it just wasn't, there wasn't enough damage being dealt to win. But this one, oh, there's so many side quests. I can't believe it. I'm just going and going and going. You can get a keep, hire hirelings to either join you, or they can fight off bandits. They can escort rowdy civilians out. You get tax from your keep. Uh, I'm going on all these crazy quests. There are so many dialogue options depending on stat, race, and class. There's just so much you can do. There's little story elements that pop up that the options will be determined by your stat, race, and class. It's so good. I'm gonna have to talk about it more. I still don't fully understand everything about it, and I've been playing it for hours. It is so addictive. But yeah, if you like computer role-playing games, I cannot recommend Pillars of Eternity enough. I actually put it on easy because there's a splash at the beginning that says, if you haven't played computer role-playing games in a while, start on easy. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take your advice this time. The last one I played was Divinity, and that didn't go well. I got really irritated. Even though I love this, I love Larian, and I love their other games. Original Sin just, I like almost everything about it, but their approach, the progression approach. And you know what? I don't regret it. I've died a few times, but for the most part, it's fun combat and it's challenging. But on easy, it's not a cakewalk. And I cannot recommend it enough.